question pour toi. Quelle est la
What's the root cause of disease, its primary origin?
Donc cette question me plaît parce que ça fait 25
I like this
ans que
question
je
because it's
pratique,
been
que
25
j'expérimente
years
et
now
vérifie.
that I've been practicing, experimenting, and verifying the biodecoding theories, and actually I'm very satisfied with the results, the ethic, the content proposed by biodecoding, which engages our responsibility towards our illness, our healing, and transformation.
Eh bien, je suis curieux.
At the same time, as much I'm satisfied, I'm also curious, and therefore I ask myself this very question regularly.
Nous savons
What's the cause of the cause of the cause of illness? We know that the body is only a set of processes of adaptation to the external world, and for that, it has organs to adapt. If my skin is burnt by the sun, I tan. If I eat an edible food, I produce hydrochloric acid. If I eat a toxic food, I vomit. Therefore, the body is nothing else but a set of responses to survive, to evolve, or simply to live when facing the constant changes of the external world. So when the body develops a disease through an excess or a default functioning of an organ, such as a tumor or necrosis, then we know through observation that prior to that, an external event occurred which triggered an emotion, which itself affected the body. We have three options of adaptation. Let's say my car got stolen. I have three options of adaptation. The first one is that I accept the reality. My car got stolen, I got laid off, my wife is sick, my dog got run over. If I accept this reality, then there's no painful, dreadful, frustrating, or so-called negative emotions, and life goes on. I accept the whole reality regardless of what's happening. Or I refuse a part of reality. I refuse my child's illness. I refuse being laid off. I refuse my noisy neighbor, etc. I refuse a part of reality. I'm in the biological whim. When I refuse a part of reality, then at this moment an emotion arises. My mother left, but I want her to be here. Then I feel frustrated. Or she's here, but she bothers me, and I want her away. I refuse what is and what's happening, and at this moment arrives an emotion: anger, sadness, frustration. The second option of adaptation is to express this emotion, no matter how. I cry, I yell, I play the guitar or the piano, I paint, I speak. In any case, I express this emotion. If I don't express it, I imprint it inside my body, and it will become a disease. So in biodecoding, this is where we stand. Disease is an emotion stemming from a refusal of a part of reality, and this emotion got stuck in the body. Now, to go even further, someone will do a heart infarctus, for instance, only if he fights for his territory. For example, he has a job and is threatened to be fired or to lose his position. So he's going to fight. He's going to fight for this. He's going to put all his energy, all his strength in the coronary arteries, in his heart to fight and preserve his job and position. But someone can only have a conflict of fear of losing his territory at one condition, that the territory is important to him. If you don't care about your territory, if you are not involved emotionally, you can lose your rank or get fired. You don't get sick. The neighbor trespasses your territory, and you do. The neighbor trespasses your territory, and you develop a cystitis, for example, a urinary tract infection, or you develop a kidney condition because you're losing your landmarks. But you can only have an emotion, a stress, only if your territory is important. If your car is stolen, you have an emotion at only one condition: if your car is important to you. Your wife or your husband leaves you. Your wife or your husband leaves you. You can only have an emotion at the condition that this person is important to you. Your wife or your husband leaves you. Your wife or your husband leaves you. You can only have an emotion at the condition that this person or this relationship with this person is important to you. And more precisely, what does this person represent to you? What represents your wife, your daughter, your mother, your house, your car, your golden fish or your cat, your Rolling Stones, your Rolling Stones collection. So if you lose your collection of Rolling Stones, so if you lose your Rolling Stones collection, you will cry only if this collection is important. As a meaning, only if this collection is important. So if you lose your Rolling Stones collection, you will cry only if this collection is important, only if it has a meaning in your life, like a compensation. So here's the cause of the cause. Let's go deeper in the root cause. What makes this collection of rare songs of the Rolling Stones, the Doors, or Céline Dion important? What makes this collection of rare songs of the Rolling Stones, the Doors, Céline Dion important to you? What makes this car important? What makes this job or my spouse important? To go deeper, it's because I identify to a persona, a character, a personality. It's as simple as that. I'm the character. I'm Mr. Smith's wife. I'm Mrs. Smith's husband. I'm the father of. I'm the employee of this company. I'm the employee of this company. I identify to a persona, a character on a big stage, which I take for reality, which I take for the truth. The same as the child who plays Batman or the princess and believes it. While playing Batman, this child really believes he is Batman. He believes he can fly. If he is Superman, he has superpowers, and if there's a thief, he has emotions of. He believes he can fly. If he is Superman, If he is Superman, he believes he can fly. If he is Superman, he has superpowers. And if there's a thief, he has the emotions of a righter of wrongs. But rapidly the child has the capacity to take distance with his character, to know that he is not that. At some point, if he is not psychotic, to back up and say, at some point, if he is not psychotic, he backs up and says, I'm not Batman. I'm not Superman. I am a child who plays that role. At some point, if he's not psychotic, he backs up and says, I'm not Superman. I'm not Batman. I'm not Superman. I'm a child who plays that role. On the other hand, the adult has continued to play, and he forgot that he was playing. So he became the director of a bank. He became a lawyer. He became a hobo. He became a teacher, and he identifies with this character. And he identifies with his characters. Instead of playing the role for 15 minutes, sometimes Instead of playing the role for 15 minutes, sometimes we make it last longer. We can have a profession for several years. Sometimes we're in a couple for a few months, and sometimes we're in a couple for a few months or several years, identified with this relationship. But it will not always last the whole life, because we separate, we divorce, we change jobs. Even with being a mother or a father, we existed before we procreated, we conceived. He existed truly. We existed truly. And at some point comes along this mission, this character, call it the way you want, of being a father, a spouse, etc. So this shift from the essential being, which is not a role, which has no attributes, which has no qualities, which is pure consciousness, presence, which is not affected by the notion of conflict. At some point, through the social game, through this concept bigger than us, which is society, which itself takes the place of a bigger. So this shift from the essential being, which is not a role, so this shift from the essential being, which is not a role, which has no attributes, which has no qualities, which is pure consciousness, presence, which is not affected by the notion of conflict. At some point, through the social game, through this concept bigger than us, which is society, which itself takes the place of a bigger concept, which is spirituality, and which we take one for another. And the social order gives us roles for society to work, and we accept those roles to satisfy some biological needs, like being recognized, having a place, having a territory, etc. This way we become the accomplices. This way we become the accomplices of our misfortune. By entering in the identification, in the role, in the character, by forgetting that the drama is only a theatrical play, by forgetting that the drama is only a theatrical play. Drama is a theatrical play because dramaturgy is the study of theatrical plays. actors come from dramatic schools. So drama is only a theater, a theater, a theater. So drama is only a theater, and this way this character becomes independent. Since he is identified with his role as a director, since he is identified with his role as a director, if he's no longer a director, then he's nothing anymore. If he's identified with his car or something else, if he's deprived of his car, deprived from his car, if he's identified with his car or something else, if he's deprived of his car or the other thing, he's nothing. He slides in a way in his role. He shifted in a way in this role. He shifted in a way in this role. He shifted in a way in this role. And of course, by removing the job, or the car, it will create an emotion which will affect the body. And of course, by removing the job or the car, it will create an emotion which will affect the body. So the ultimate therapy is to become again who we fundamentally are. What do you mean by becoming again who we fundamentally are? Actually, to become is not the correct word. It's about to bring our consciousness to the observation of what is. It's about to bring our conscious to the observation of what is, meaning to become the spectator of the play, the spectator of those characters, by becoming aware that there are playwrights, directors, by becoming aware that there are playwrights, directors, which are our parents and ancestors, who ask us to play such and such roles. By becoming aware that there are playwrights, directors, which are our parents and ancestors, who ask us to play such and such roles. When we become the spectator of our life, at this moment we are pure consciousness and everything goes well. Could we say it's a process of detachment? Non-attachment will be better. Non-attachment. All right. Thank you. Thank you.